explain to our listeners why consciousness is a bad thing.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's. This is what I'm saying: is that you're moralizing. You're. What's so fucked up is that it's always atheists that are the most like committed to this idea of moralism. It's like, where does that moral come from?
Yeah, they don't have anybody telling them who to kill.
Yeah, well, but they still want to kill people. It's like, where does that come from?
Who?
Who's telling you who to kill? And this is the problem is that...
No, they want to kill climate denialists.
Right.
These illiterate anti-vaxxer fucks.
No, that's a distraction. And here's why they hate being questioned so much, is that really, when you get down to it, what it is they, like all people, just want to kill. And they go, who is it okay to want to kill right now?
Well,
and they find that find that group, and then they go, yeah, you should kill them.
People with Down syndrome.
That's right. Fucking A. Yes.
Well, yeah, like the prenatal test for Down syndrome.
Yeah,
or like
Mao Zedong killed 50 million of them.
Literal genocide. It is a type of genocide to want to kill people with Down syndrome before they're born. That is a literal genocide. But they will defend it, and they'll get mad at you when you say, "What?" They have a genetic
code. An ounce
of
prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Well, isn't natural selection...
Listen, if this baby gets born, you have no idea how many cats he's going to pet to death. You're saving cat lives. How dare you?
That's true. You can't hug a kitten that fucking hard, dude. It's not a... You need to learn emotions. But this way... So natural selection is a type of genocide. But we think it's okay because it's not done by an agency.
Because it's science.
Because it mostly happens in
Africa.
Africa.
Genes doing it. The genes can genocide.
Doing it.
Yeah. Well, no, but not even science, but the genes themselves are genociding. So it's okay if the genes do it, but if the human consciousness
By the way, it's not genes. It's not genes. It's literally us. Like this is why the I'm going to say this: the execution of unborn Down syndrome children is so like horrifying.
Entertaining. Oh, horrifying. Yeah.
No, yeah.
I haven't seen any good TV lately.
It's like, dude, listen, it's not a Zionist journalist. You don't have to cut its head off. Anyway, my point is the reason it's so fucked up is that we're already selecting to not have people with Down syndrome. Nobody is fucking a person with Down syndrome. Like, if you met a dude and he was like, "This is my girlfriend," and his girlfriend had Down syndrome, you'd be like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah,
here?
you might have intercourse, right? But you're not. Fucking.
So we already
I think
have
they're
that
generally infertile or like frequently.
They're like donkeys in so many ways. but it's so fucked up because we're like okay with it, but there's a certain person with a certain mind where they go, that's not enough. We have to kill them in utero because I don't want them to get into this dimension. They don't want... I don't know if you've ever met somebody with Down syndrome. Dude, the last time I met somebody with Down syndrome, they came up to me at a supermarket and
it's always at a supermarket.
It is. Well, that's where they live. But he came up to me and just started telling me about a Marvel movie. Like, we had already been having a conversation. He was in the middle of a conversation, and he just came up to me and he was like,
he's on
I'm going to start you
mushrooms
here.
talking to a box of Ritz crackers. This retard comes up to me at the grocery store.
This conversation is so light and buttery. But no, it was delightful. I was in a shitty mood, and this guy came up to me and started talking to me about the Marvel interview.
Showed you how life could be
worse.
But
he was in such a good mood that it like brought me up where I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right, nothing. Whatever spiral I was going down doesn't matter.
Oh, so he brightened your day?
What's up?
He brightened your day?
Yeah, he brightened my day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's what I'm saying. You have a group of, you're like, I will be damned if these people that do nothing but really brighten your day will get into this dimension. And they're like, I will violate a woman's womb in order to get, I'll vacuum out a baby because I'll be damned if I'll let it grow into a bright,
so you're mad that
kind
you're
of friendly
losing a
thing.
selection of people that actually have utility.
I'm mad that you are deciding their utility. And
well, no, their
acting
utility
like you're not eugenicists. You are, right?
Well, like their utility is making you happy. Like you get to laugh. Like if people,
but yes,
If people with Down
is
syndrome
one of their
go,
utilities,
retarded jokes go with them.
That's true.
That's right. That's right. And they want to take that away from me.
That is
And
upsetting.
it's like a
We're
lot
one
of
of
what
the
I
few
do is make
species.
fun of retards.
We're one of the few species that does not eat the retards. It's kind of a shame because I'm sure they have great jokes about that. All the species that eat their tards, we don't have any references like that. Most species eat them. Like if one comes out and it's gimpy, they're like, "Ooh,
I want you
supper."
to get to a joke through it's summer.
Does
It's exciting. It's exciting. Like we have Thanksgiving. They have like
You know how much fun it is to roast a turkey?
They go, Mama popped out another slow one. Let's make mashed potatoes. We eat turkeys. Like turkeys are our retards.
What I'm saying is, like, why don't you...
Benjamin Franklin.
That's where
Why-
the gravy comes from.
If I came out and I said, if you find out your baby is part Indian, and I mean India, not...
Dot or feather?
You know that I mean dot. Obviously. I go, listen,
Daughter alcoholic.
your baby is going to daughter alcoholic. But I say dot. And because they're the more unpleasant ones. Their art is displeasing to me, whereas Native American art I find delightful. But my point is, if you find out that your baby has, it's going to be 50% Indian, you can kill it if you want. Like, we're going to look the other way on this one. You'd be like, that's fucked up. But like what you're doing with people with Down syndrome is you're saying you have this genetic makeup and we're deciding for no reason that genetic makeup is like bad or that it's unworthy of life. In what world is that anything less than genocide? You're deciding that you're not supposed to have 24 chromosomes.
Skin color.
Well, I'm saying I want people with a diverse amount of chromosomes to live in my world.
A kid. No, I want a Pegasus, but I want him to be half human, half potato.
Listen, I know you think this is funny, mocking people with Down syndrome. It's disgusting, dude. It's disgusting. Just because they're hilarious, you got to fucking.
Where do you draw the line?
I draw the line at, dude.
You're right. I've never seen someone with Down syndrome, and I wasn't happier upon seeing that.
That's what I'm fucking saying. It's like,
maybe for the worst reasons.
But they keep telling me to put on a mask.
Here's the alternative. Have you ever in the world seen an Indian person and been happier by their presence? Never once has that happened. You're always like, God damn it. That's what I'm saying.
No, sometimes they're like on a bed of nails and or levitating in the sky,
lighting themselves on fire.
Sometimes they're just a head in a bucket because they have some sort of weird illness, or they're walking on all fours.
Sometimes they're shitting in the Ganges, and you're like, that was cute. Indians.
Their food is worth it.
No, it totally is. But that's what I'm saying is like there is a genetic formation that we've all agreed that we're like okay with.
Yeah.
This
is where we're actually getting.
Why
to
did
Western
we pick
society.
this one that we're okay with you killing them in the womb? That's
Name
fucking
a Down
crazy.
syndrome accomplishment that rivals tikka masala. You can't.
Yeah.
No,
they don't.
listen,
they don't have a cuisine.
Shut up. Because no.
First of all, white people invented tikka masala, but vindaloo,
white people don't have a culture.
Lamb vindaloo.
White people have never had a culture. No, what I'm saying is that, dude, look at a Down syndrome person's face. Fuck you. You're still creating these bullshit metrics by which you're measuring a genetic code. What I'm saying is it's still eugenics. I want to get away from the genes entirely, and we go, people are allowed to live as long as they can make. If you can make it out of the pussy.
Well, you know how it'll start to be is they'll go, ma'am, your son has a 47% likelihood of being a school shooter. Do you think you might want to abort him?
Sure. But here's what I'm saying. We didn't take depression.
No, I get to sell a book.
We didn't take people.
A Child Called It, Volume 2, bitch.
You can have a child. Dude, you can have a child in utero that you go, listen, we've looked at the scans. We know that this child, whatever, it didn't get enough oxygen, and your child is going to be born a paraplegic. Your child is not going to have the use of his legs. But you have to go through with the birth because we don't have you can look at a fetus and you go, this one's going to be Chinese. You have to go through with that. Pregnancy. You have to give birth to a Chinese child.
No, that's not the way it works.
No.
Not in China, but
You have
in
a
the
moral
rest,
obligation
in the rest
not
of
to.
One child policy.
You're like, I'm sorry, but your child has been disabled by having a vagina, and we're gonna have to set it out to sea. Sorry.
Yeah, like
It's a fucking hospital in China. Everyone there is Chinese. The doctor goes, "I'm sorry, miss, your kid's Chinese."
It's like
She's like, no.
St. Jude's
Get
Children's
rid of it.
Hospital, but they're like, listen, there's no cure for being a Chinese girl. But we have to, listen, we need money because we're sending barge after barge of Chinese baby girls out into the ocean. And that you have no idea the overhead costs of that.
Maybe it's a good thing we're polluting the water so much.
A lot of
so that some of these
turtles are
Chinese
choking
kids
on the Chinese girls.
can suck up some nuclear radiation and learn how to fucking swim.
That's how you get Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's just a giant Chinese girl.
the Chinese girls that live on Trash Island in the Pacific.
Yeah.
It's a whole new race. we need to-
Plastic island.
I had a bit about that where it was like instead of having they just have an island of discarded Chinese girls in the middle, floating in the. But what
It's
I'm
the
saying is,
11th
why is
Hawaiian
that-
island.
How do you think the island of Lesbos suddenly emerged in Greenland?
What I'm saying is that by that logic, there's no. If you're defending people being able to in utero kill their children because they have trisomy 21 chromosomal imbalance, then what is the fundamental difference between me going, it's not the race that I wanted, so I should be able to kill it on that, because that's also a chromosomal distinction.
No, I get it. You can't tell
There's-
the difference between Down syndrome and Pakistani, but we're talking about.
Can you? Can you? Oh, you think you're better
That's
than
a
me?
new show on
You know that
NBC.
you fucking can't.
Jeff Foxworthy.
If you,
It's a Down
if you
syndrome
walk
kid.
on all fours, if your tongue is bigger than your jaw, you might be a Pakistani.
One of these is a foreigner. The other one works at your local King Supers.
They've hired an army of retards over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of tax breaks.
Dude, this one guy that works there that I got to go through all, he literally, dude, when shit starts passing, he's just a bag boy. And when shit starts passing to him, dude, he looks at it and he puts it in the bag like there's an animal in the bag, or like there's a rabid possum in the bag that he's avoiding. He's like, he's afraid of bagging thing. It's frustrating as shit because it takes 45 minutes for him to bag all your groceries.
Maybe he's a normal kid. It's just like exposure therapy. Afraid of bags, and so they made him a bag boy.
No, he's definitely, dude, he tricked me for a while, but no, he's definitely not
That
normal.
he was Pakistani?
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's just Pakistani. No. Oh, no, he just smells bad. That's different.
Some of them are exceptionally helpful.
Pakistanis?
Because to you, yes. But I'm talking about bag boys, which is it's a chromosomal disorder. But a lot of them.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Your child is a bag boy.
Oh no!
Wouldn't that be a nice?
Oh no! I know. I drank a little bit of wine, but I didn't think that.
Listen,
Is it his father's fault?
Nothing you did wrong. I mean, listen. Once you get a little older, the odds of you giving birth to a bag boy
That would be
increase
great on
dramatically.
that'd be great on Maury, where there's fucking 40 dudes and one whore, and he's like, and the father is we don't know, but the kid's retarded.
The kid's first shirt was.
Well, what the point I was making is, a lot of them take the reality that we've given them so seriously that it's endearing, because they're like, let me help you with such zeal that you just are like, whoa, you love working at or I mean, I don't know if you love it, but you're acting like you do.
You're talking to me with such excitement about the new Spider-Man movie. It's like, dude, this level of excitement and happiness is just not available to me anymore. Do you want everybody to be like me? No, that's not a happy world. I want somebody to be able to experience real joy.
This is
in
why
the world
most
with
of
me,
the
right?
species eat the retards. I keep coming back to this. They're too happy. We can't deal with that.
But we've gotten to a level of
happy
sadness
and
where we
loving.
need-
Why? Existence is suffering. You're food, bitch.
Yeah, like
Look at that. Watch this
Yeah,
bitch.
I like eating retards. Is that what you're
Look at
about
this.
to say?
Look
I
at
know
this
you're fucking-
smiling bitch drooling. I'm eating you. That's
No,
what. That's the
no,
our
you go-
nature. That's the lizard brain talking.
That-
What are you smiling for? This shit is fucking real. I'm
Why
about
don't
to
you
eat
want
you.
anybody smiling in spite of... Why don't you want anybody smiling?
This is what
I
you're
do.
defending. You're saying
I want people smiling around me, and the only people that are worthy
Truly
to be smiling,
happy
that
are
are
retarded.
truly have deserve to smile, are the retarded.
why do they
Yes.
deserve to smile?
What?
Why do they deserve to smile?
because they have no bad karma. They're just nice to everybody.
Exactly. Thank you.
I mean, this is a nightmare, but they do have like purpose, like in the same way, like a
No, see, this is the problem. Is you've industrialized people where you think that people have to have a purpose. No, they are karmically clear.
Well, in
Listen,
the feminist
here's-
framework, they're
here's what's
doing
gonna happen.
emotional labor. For you at the grocery store, they're doing emotional labor.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to not let you talk on the podcast that you're a guest on. But what I'm saying is, what's going to happen is you and I are going to continue this cycle of karmic reincarnation until we become
retarded.
cleared and become retarded. Yes, yes. Someday we will.
That is the
someday we
last
will-
incarnation.
Used to be
like,
called enlightened.
pure-
That's
yeah.
right, dude. That's right. Can you imagine? That's the farewell tour of planet Earth. Is you get to just be retarded, and they just usher you through everything. You don't have to do anything. You're just happy.
Enlightenment. Yeah, I did.
Enlightenment, bro.
Yeah. I
Forrest
didn't realize
Gump.
they were talking about the weight of your head.
Enlightenment is
yeah.
a giant tongue and a heavy head. Heavy is the head that wears the crown of a giant tongue. It's there. Listen, it's there. I'll figure it
You
out.
know that great bodhisattva Forrest Gump. And he really, I think, I used to do a bit about, like, I don't understand why we call them mentally challenged, because it's not challenging. I see what they're doing. Yeah. It's not, there's no challenge involved.
By the way,
What
dude,
they are, they're at peace. They're mentally relaxed. Like, when you watch
The idea
Forrest
of-
Gump and you go, he is at peace.
the idea
Yeah.
of watching.
I'm mentally challenged.
Exactly.
Every day is a fucking nightmare.
That's right. That's right.
That's exactly right.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I used to say, because you can identify with this, like we call, now they want to say, I don't know that people actually do this, but it's been said that you should call short people vertically challenged.
No, come on. That's a hack premise that doesn't exist. That's not real.
No one actually says that. But I've heard it.
Nobody's ever
Vertically challenged.
Whatever.
But anyway, if anyone's vertically challenged, it's a fucking, the 7 foot tall basketball player who can't get on a plane, and he's vertically challenged.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like average height. The world is kind of made for me. And
A short person, you can hide. You
in an
can run
attic,
under people's legs.
You can hide in an attic while Nazis look for you.
Yeah,
you
that's
do whatever you want.
That's not vertically challenged. That's a vertical
That's
advantage.
an advantage.
Yeah.
It's a real selection pressure there.
Yeah. What you want to be is a short Jew. He's a compact Jew. The Toyota of Jews. Sorry.
That's where the Keebler elves, they were hiding during the Holocaust,
This is
making
where-
cookies.
I've tried to figure it out, and I feel like being mentally retarded. Like if there is if Buddhism is correct, then the farewell tour would be being in a retarded body, because you'd be like, this is great. You wouldn't, like, you might have this level of pain, but you don't have an unknowable level of pain where you're like, I don't even know how bad this gets outside of my purview of experience. They're like, no, I'm mad because I don't get to see, like, I don't have the candy that I want right now. But that's like how deep pain gets, dude. It's like, that doesn't even register. That doesn't register to me anymore.
But there's a scene in Forrest Gump where he leads these people around like a cult leader, and then gives a speech and whatever. Like this shit about the meek will rule us. Like, it is only a retard could tell the truth. Only a retard could get up there and say something just fucking straight from the heart, and you can't, like, even Greta Thunberg will be like, no,
Her
she's
power.
She's a paid operative or whatever. But if a retard says it, you're like,
Well, no, but
What?
what her thing is, Greta Thunberg is like, she's like one of the Avengers, and her superpower is that she's retarded. and that nobody can judge her for what she says. So she could say anything. She just goes, she just accused, how dare you, you're all bad people. And it's like, your mom's like a ballet professor. Do you understand like where you're at here in the world, that your mom is a ballet but she can get away with it because she's retarded?
Well, she's tasted a lot of Rothschild semen. I don't know if she's retarded, but she's probably definitely autistic. But I mean, like, we don't take her seriously. Like, actually, somebody just speaking from the heart.
I don't think they do.
She's
just like an image. She like fits on National Geographic.
Okay. Yes, but this is what we were saying earlier, dude. This is the problem with that imagistic, like, magical thing. You're assuming that they had that, quote unquote, they, obviously, I'm speaking in generality. You're assuming that they have a deeper interaction with the world than a symbolical reaction to the world or relationship to the world. You think that they have emotions that go deeper than symbols?
Retards?
Yeah, I mean, most people.
Do you think retards have emotions that go deeper than symbols? We're asking you.
What's sad is that retards do,
Please answer.
but normal people don't. They just see the symbol, and I don't think they have access to like deeper emotion. No, I don't think they have souls, or I really don't. I'm getting to the point where I really don't think that like, it's like Malice says. He's like, dude, you're talking to these people like they have a mind, and they don't. You're lying to yourself. You're getting yourself into this place where you're trying to argue with them like they're concerned in the same way that you are. They're not. They don't have a self.
NPCs.
They don't have a self. That's right. Yeah.
You're talking about people are just robotic. It's just following the culture. They have no independent thought.
Which is almost all people.
Well, I mean, almost all content.
So if you don't have independent thought, if you're not integrated at least a little bit, you're not a self. So I should stop treating you like a self, right?
No, I don't think that's morally correct.
I should give you the dignity where I shouldn't be like oppressing you. I shouldn't be treating you like fodder. Sure,
You give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you'll wake up one day.
I mean, most content's just like a signaling opportunity.
I think now here's a conspiracy theory for you.
What?
I think all the retards are just pretending.
Do you know how long you have to hold your breath to inflate your forehead?
I think they go home and
I think they're
derive.
sitting in the break room chewing their own tongue. So,
I think they go home and they're designing free energy devices, and then they go to work at King Supers and they just fool us.
They have to make themselves completely sexually unappealing to focus.
you know, they're on some fucking Isaac Newton shit. They're on some Tesla
That's right.
fucking pigeon shit.
That's right.
They're
They're so high above us that they pretend to be lower.
I love it.
Just to get by.
This is what the show should be: is figuring out new conspiracies that we can enter into. Move forward. This is how we move forward.
I honestly do. Now,
you think it's the Jews? Wait till you realize that it's the retards that are controlling everything. You dumb motherfucker.
It's biblical. But I do think I've met...
The Nephilim came down and they gifted an extra chromosome to the... Sorry, go ahead.
I've watched autistic people like destroy a social situation, like in a way that you have to be like, oh, he doesn't know. But there's a glimmer of like, I don't know. I'm like, you know what you're doing.
Projecting. I think you're projecting.
No, dude. I think they made a decision early on in life that they were gonna fuck with us.
But
you don't have that impulse to just ruin the situation?
I do.
Of like talking to someone.
He does it more than anybody.
Yeah.
That's why I see it in them.
I've described on many occasions. I've described Alan as autistic on purpose.
Right.
Like, this is what he does. He pretends that he doesn't understand social situations. That way he can burn down. That way you just burn down social situations all the time, and not like. I mean, people get mad at him.
It's a Socratic method. Pretend to be retarded. What do you mean by that?
I follow the philosopher Autistico. He was. I don't know if you've heard of the Greek philosopher Autistico, but he was.
But isn't the Socratic method playing dumb? in the form of a question.
I mean, in a sense, yeah, but yeah, in a sense,
that's all it is. But that's not what I'm talking about, really, though, because autistic people will just get away with saying something that totally dishevels all social reality, and everything turns towards that, and people are trying to adjust, and it destroys whatever was happening, and you have to be like, no, you can't. What?
Dude, I hate it because I'm not there's something, I'm impervious to autistics. Like I don't like people, dude. Because they'll come up and
You have no autist. Well, they'll come fucking dar.
They'll come up and do something that's socially unacceptable, and people go, "Well, I'll dance around your bugaboos or whatever," and I don't because I'm like, "Fuck you!" No, I do believe that it's in your best. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna pretend that I don't feel.
You treat them as an equal.
I treat them as an equal. It was like maybe the second time I met little Aspie, Noah Hebler. He came up to it we were in the middle of a conversation, and he just came up and said some shit really loud, and I was like, "Oh, you think you're just fucking interrupt the conversation, be loud as fuck?" And he's like, I just watched him he did not know how to deal with it, and I did feel bad. But I was like,
I think that's proper,
what
though.
The fuck? I don't know what the fuck else to do. I'm trying to fucking...
Well, if you coddle that behavior, then you're enabling, and you just go, oh, he's different. He gets to do that.
At very least, what I'm doing is I'm lying to you about where my boundaries are. It's like, I don't like being interrupted by anybody. I don't give a fuck what your mental condition is. I don't like being interrupted in this way.
The only thing that could possibly be healing is the truth. So you can lie to this kid because you think he's lesser. That's no way to behave.
Yeah, he's got to be socialized at some point.
Right.
He wasn't when he was a little kid.
And it might not be. We might not
Your
nail
parents enabled this
socialization.
horse shit. I'm sorry they vaccinated you so many times. Normally, you only get 4 or 5. I mean, that was a lot.
Honey, Noah's starting to ask a lot of questions. Maybe we should get him another vaccination, another round of boosters. I don't know. If we could do something. Calm him down a little bit.
He's still making eye contact. I think that might be measles.
That's brilliant.
They should just have at-home vaccination kits you can buy on Amazon.
The child.
Is your son still making eye contact?
You could make. Hey kids, you ever thought about making your own vaccines?
You can 3D print a vaccine.
It's like a light bright. God damn it.
Funny because it's true. I don't know if we're very close to all that shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude. This and I.
But it is. You know what's weird about the vaccine culture right now, and it may shift, but it is very it's less obligatory than I thought it was going to be. It is very.
It turned
if
back
you want
hard.
to, they kind of.
They don't have anything to sell, dude.
I think there's just they don't know how to deal with the skepticism.
They instinctively know the limits of their propaganda.
Yeah.
Because and this is the thing that we need to wrap our heads around more and more is that propaganda is not something that people are doing on purpose. It's something that people go, I have this feeling.
It's like game.
And I execute that through propaganda, but only in as much as I think I can get away with it. And all that is intuited subliminally. What I can get away with telling the culture to do, what I can push through propaganda, all that's intuited subliminally.
It's like Neil Strauss. It's like when you're talking to a woman at the bar and you just assume she's lesser as a strategy.
Because she's in a wheelchair.
Yo, let me vaccinate you, bitch. It's propaganda is like a type of game. It's a social game where you're just going, are you going to let me fuck you?
But game emerges
bend over, bitch.
It's not something you can force.
Well, they divided the anti-vaxxers versus the vaxxers, and the vaxxers are so vaccine that they willingly became the sample space for the vaccine. You don't need to go to Detroit and find black people anymore because the far left has just willingly become the sample space.
People who are so pro-science that they've never read any science.
But that's what I'm saying.
I want to be
stoked about
first.
Those guys. That's why
before they make any adjustments.
Yeah, but we want the people that do. We want the people to be like, let us take it.
I mean, how many selfies have you seen of people getting the vaccine?
Responders, I want to be.
It's so cute too. The little pictures they take where they go, "I got vaccinated for my community." It's they have to pretend that it's not. It's selfless. That it's not out of fear. You got to pretend that it's actually a moral act. And they believe that.
But when
they gave us that with the masks. They go, you're not wearing the mask for you. You're wearing it for grandma, sweetheart. You're not getting vaccinated for you. You don't understand biology. You're getting vaccinated for your community.
They wouldn't wear the mask if it was invisible. There's no signaling to like show that they're on like that team.
This is why they want to get rid of quote unquote hate speech, is because if we put like the proverbial gun to their head and said, you don't get to use any of these soft terms. You have to use hard terms. You have to get a pin on yourself that says, I got vaccinated for the wetbacks.
That's such a...
They wouldn't do it.
That's such a weird play on it, yeah.
But they should do it. But we should force them more into that. You go, yeah, dude, listen, these N-words are having a hard time. Something like...
That would be beautiful.
It's just softer and
Because you've
softer
seen these
language,
pictures I'm
'cause they
talking
won't do
about,
it.
where somebody, and they've got the little syringe, and then they've got holding up the poster that says, I did it
For my community.
Yeah.
Those people are insufferable. They don't have a community. Nobody will talk to them anymore. They like live online.
Yeah, this is all I want to do is
But what about...
talk
what
to
if
a middle-aged woman.
What about you hold a syringe and I'm holding a sign that says, I did it for the kikes who run the Federal Reserve.
That's what I'm saying.
I did it for the World Health Organization lizards.
Yeah, get vaccinated for...
And just be honest.
Yeah.
I did it for the New World Order.
Well, that's their thing, is like they're
I did it so you could track me.
They go, the reason you're not voting for Joe Biden is because what you believe that the black community is okay on their own and they don't need our help. You really believe that? You think that they don't need the federal government's help? You fucking bigot. It's like, yeah, no, I don't. I think they're good. I think they're fine. I think they'll figure it out on their own. They've done it several times before.
Probably do better.
They'll probably do better. But that's the thing, is they go, no, I don't get my white savior. I don't get my white savior badge if you take that away from me. It's, yeah, I don't want you to have that. You know, it's fuck you. You don't get to have that.
Well, it's called bigotry of low expectations. But if you say that, it's like you're saying states' rights when somebody brings up the Civil War. If you say bigotry of low expectations, you're like, oh, what do you listen to? Thomas Sowell? Are you...
Well, yeah, no.
Do you like Candace Owens?
Oh, Candace Owens is, I mean, genuinely kind of retarded. I cannot listen to Candace Owens. I've tried so many times to listen to Candace Owens. I'm like, I do not know where, like, I do not know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, she just, but, I mean, whatever. I like do your thing.
Yeah, I listened to her on Dylan and I was pretty lost.
Dude, it's.
I like
it
her.
Schizophrenic.
I like her
what she is
candor and her spirit. Like she's willing to be aggressively.
Why would you like that though? If what's behind that is word salad, is conservative word salad, why would you like candor behind
Most
that?
women who are that attractive would just rely on that. She's trying to externalize,
but she doesn't have any. There's no like mass behind what she's saying. What she's saying, there's no.
Yeah, that's right. She just says whatever she thinks. It's wrong a lot of the time.
It's literally schizophrenic word
But she
salad.
says what she thinks.
Like,
is like Maddow any different?
That's what I when I say candor.
Of course not.
When I say
Of course not.
candor,
like,
she says what she thinks.
Thomas Sowell is legitimate because Thomas Sowell has like a legitimate backing to what he's saying. He's like, no, I'm not. And every question you come at him where you're like, he starts to go down a trail and you go, well, what about this? And he goes, I'm going to address that. Here's how I address that. It is a legitimate. It's a legitimate worldview, whereas because Thomas Sowell is an intellectual, Candace Owens is a propagandist. There is nothing, and there can be nothing behind her. If there was something behind her, she wouldn't be a propagandist anymore, or she would be less of a propagandist, depending on how much information there was behind her.
She's loud. She doesn't know what she's talking about, and she keeps saying it.
She knows all the buzzwords.
She keeps saying it.
Yeah.
But I think there's an authenticity to that. I want to fuck her. What do you guys want from me?
Just say that. Just say I want to fuck Candace
already
Owens
did.
And stop defending her ideology, man.
I'm not defending her ideology.
Okay,
I
just say I want to fuck her.
You defended a lot less if you
And by candor, I mean tits. You fucking
not
piece
tits,
of
but-
shit.
Oh, camber. Like
Oh.
What an esoteric
Fucking
pun that
piece
was.
of shit. Yeah, no, it's just stop defending. Look, I want to fuck Tommy Lahren. That doesn't mean I defend what she says.
Oh, I would say
And
the same
God,
thing about
I
her.
want to fuck Tommy Lahren.
I would say the same thing about her. She believes what she's saying.
She gets it for me.
She believes what she's saying.
We're from the
She's
same
wrong.
part of the country, and there's so many of those chicks that I've seen. She does it for me, but
Yeah, she's
but
like an
still
amalgam
retarded.
of like
She's never met. I mean, it's the same problem where you meet a hot chick who nobody's ever told her no. It's the same shit with it.
That's right.
They're in the political sphere. No, they're just like, whoa, you're fucking hot. What,
dude,
They can't. Joe Rogan's like, yeah, well, I think global warming is like real. What do you think? It's like, what? You're the number one dude. You can't even. And by the way, he's still wrong, but they're just intimidated by the appearance. They need a man to just go, sweetheart, you don't actually read, do you?
I've been working on a bit about this where it's like in my body, it's like an out of body experience. It's like it's almost like a psychedelic experience where you're talking to a hot girl and you just like all of a sudden you're out of your body and you're watching yourself agree with her about things. You're just like, yeah, of course. No, that's a great point. You're
Right.
What? I would never say it, but I aspire to be the kind of person that can disagree with a hot girl. Like later in my life, I've not ascended to that level yet.
You have like never a more clear picture of your id and ego separating than when you're watching yourself talk to a hot girl.
It's
Wow.
Like
yeah.
who
That's
you
right.
are
That's
versus
right.
like who you will like willingly be.
you're like, you'll hear a voice come up and you go, no. You listen. You get back down there.
Yeah.
Don't you even think about coming back. Listen, I am in the middle of something. How dare you come up to me with this and just repress that shit back.
But
You can't
as
help
we
it.
were saying before, that will actually turn her off because the real way to attract the lizard is to go, no, you're wrong. And she will be, what?
But you can't.
never
I mean,
heard that
there's
before.
not like a limit. Like you can't just like walk up to a hot girl and like, hey, what's up, you fat bitch? You can't,
Oh, you could.
and it'll work.
She didn't get approached like that very often.
If it's a black girl, it'll work.
That's peacocking.
It's a black girl.
That's just a
It's
Patrice bit.
Actually true, but yeah.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a purple hat, it'll work.
There's also an energy to what you're doing. I mean, if you did it
No,
out of
for
hatred,
sure. But even if you're doing that, if you're like nagging is what you're basically talking about. If you're doing that from a certain place, you're not doing that from a real place. You're not really criticizing her,
no,
right?
Most
you
times
can
it's
never
humor.
really criticize her.
I mean, I think you always want
you
to
could.
Or you-
criticize
not can.
her
Not now.
intellectually, not. You just want to call these girls fat. You don't want to call them fat. You want to call them stupid.
Dude, by the way, I follow.
I just want to tell them what they are, who they are.
I follow
which is stupid and probably a little fat.
I follow a lot of girls on Instagram who are like, cam whores or whatever. But they get to this point where they like are trying to prove they're like taking a picture of a book with their tits. And then there's this long paragraph about how I know a lot of you don't think I have a mind just because I have a body, but I do have a mind. They get to this point where they're trying to prove I'm more than just the body. And it actually does. You get to a point where you go, actually, yeah, the human experience. It's like, I don't know, for a woman in your late 20s or whatever.
Every dick pic I
you
take
hit that
is
point.
laid out against an Adam Smith book, just for size, so that they know it's for what do they call that? Whatever. It's
Did you say you lay out
Something
your
about
dick?
markets. I don't know. Free markets.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
the free market says this cock is average. That's what the free market says, and you can't argue with that.
Thomas Paine? Was it Common Sense or something?
Common sense.
What Adam Smith something about the invisible hands of jerking your cock off
Yeah,
onto the.
I wish your invisible hands.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right,
yeah,
there's
that's
something
gonna
there.
get you're gonna get a lot of pussy posting that. But it's reversed. You of course are not trying to prove your intellect in a picture because it's already making her pussy.
I know my
but
dick-
she's trying to prove her intellect.
I know
because-
my dick looks small, but what you don't realize is that common sense is only a pamphlet. It's not a whole book. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, this is why you're unlaid.
unlaid.
It's a little Adam Smith for you.
Yeah, why are they trying to prove their intellectualism?
they get to a point where they start to get insecure about, and it's probably because of guys who can kind of penetrate their sexual superiority by making them feel dumb, and they get to a point where they go, no, I read, or I think I've read once.
Well, but what's sad about that is that like I'm making allusions to like Adam Smith and this shit because that is what, like, if you can get intellectually big dicked by a guy who read Adam Smith, then like what are we doing here? Do you know what I'm saying?
Eat my
Like
pussy,
Adam
Noam
Smith
Chomsky.
doesn't. Yeah. Well, even whatever. All this like Noam Chomsky is like fine. He's a
Noam.
linguist, but
That's never been said. Oh, Noam.
oh, no. Fuck me, Noam.
That's why his parents
Give it to
named
me,
him
Noam.
that. So there's like ambiguity between no and gnome.
He's like,
It's such a weird name. Gnome.
Gnome.
well, but and he is there. He's a non-libidinal creature.
Yeah.
There is no point where you would look at Noam Chomsky and go, that is a man ready to fuck. Weirdly, you know who is Slavoj Zizek has some amount of sex to him. I don't understand it because I'm not a woman, but there's something about being a bedraggled, like,
It's the lisp.
yeah, but maybe
that
I don't
dude
know.
eats pussy.
There's something about his erratic nature that is libidinal to women. They do dig him. I'm surprised by it, but it is true.
Yeah, I believe that.
And also, I'm sure a bunch.
You're like, that's a dude who's
whatever.
fucked a horse.
I'm sure that a bunch of listen. Richard Spencer is doing what he's doing because he's trying to get dick.
Well, there's a framework.
That is what he is
There's
doing.
a framework.
He is going. I want a gestalt of white supremacists to pound my ass out, dude. And
There's a way of viewing the world where
kink shaming Richard Spencer.
everything we're doing is sexual signaling. But then there are the asexual people who just go build UFOs and whatever. But
Well,
the Teslas among us,
yeah.
but like the Newtons and Teslas among us, but most of us, everything we do, I got into comedy so that a chick would see me and whatever.
think
Like,
I was cool, whatever.
yeah, I mean, you can make that argument that all we're doing is
But
trying to get
what
back
I'm saying,
to
what I'm saying
spreading
is
the,
that when people are like punch Nazis, if you see Richard Spencer, if you see Richard Spencer out on the street, punch him in the face. It's like that's his kink, dumb fuck. You're just getting his dick hard.
he gets really amped about Richard Spencer. About every
Dude,
once out of three.
I'm
podcasts.
telling you, he's getting his dick hard.
Being hated is most people's kink. Like, let him have it.
That's no. See, I'm not letting him have it because ruining kinks is my kink. I want you to. When you hate a Nazi, I want you to realize that that's just a kink that you have. And
That's what I said about Louis. I was like, this dude gets off on
Yeah.
shame. How'd we respond? We publicly shamed him. He was sitting at home
That's
reading
right.
those
That's
blogs,
right. That's
stroking
right.
another one out.
yeah, he's like, oh, this is a twofer.
How much do you hate me?
Yeah, the whole world.
Yeah,
is
you're right.
laughing at him.
I am a pig.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
mean, but also,
But
in a certain sense,
When Richard
how
Spencer
do
gets
you-
punched, he's going home and jerking off and going, yeah, I'm a dirty fucking Nazi. He loves that shit. And by the way, you love punching him. Just, you guys should both fuck. They should both fucking leave us out of it. That's what I'm saying.
But there
I mean,
is a
maybe you're on
point-
one of the
So
sides
stop
of that
watching.
kink.
I mean, they are.
there is a point where it bottoms out.
See, all right. That's a good point. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, like, he's trying to get punched. He's getting punched.
Yeah.
And they're both happy. You're
right.
watching it, mad that they both got. You can't get off
I'm
unless
mad that they're lying about it and they're like dragging me in because they're like, what they're doing is they're going, oh, you don't hate Nazis? And it's like, no, I'm not. This is not my kink. And they're mad at me about that. And it's like, or I'm perceiving them to be mad at me. But that is part of their kink. You're right. I should just, yeah, you're right. This is
But what I
this
think
is an actually enlightened perspective that I need.
I think the resolution to this cycle is you burn out on that kink. So maybe you do get off to being hated. But at a certain level, like any drug, it will fizzle out and you got hated and you couldn't even get hard because you're like, done it too many
This
times.
hate doesn't even.
Do you think that's what happened to gay people?
Doing
Now I
anything.
need a-
What?
What?
Well, they're all done being hated. Do you think of all the like we've talked about this? Like the being hated was like definitely
now they
their
go.
kink.
What? They go. Oh, you
What's
don't
the
hate
new
me.
thing?
What if I put on a dress? Now do you hate me? Now am I a faggot? Like, cause
Yeah, they
we
ride
we
floats.
stop calling them faggots because they act normal, and they go, well, what would make you call me a faggot now? What if I have a beard and a dress at the same time? Now am I a dirty faggot? You like?
They used to ride floats
What if
dressed
I
like
have
the
a
devil.
surgeon fashion my?
They
That's right.
they
fucking
want to
balls
be
into
hated.
That's right. That's right. No, you're right. But this is the whole thing. I forget who had this this line. It's in a song. Is the whole world is jealous of itself, but really what it is the whole world is kink shaming itself, and that's what we keep doing. Is like just stop kink shaming
Shame's hot.
and just go. Oh, you have a Nazi fetish.
The shame is
You're
the kink.
Yeah.
The shame is the kink. Yeah.
Kink shaming is
And if we keep telling them about this, if we keep going, oh, you just hate those Nazis because that gives you a lady boner or whatever, that ruins the boner for them. So I'm just going out ruining boners.
it's
And
like
that's not who I want to be.
it's the incest porn, it's the interracial porn, it's all the most consumed where it's not allowed.
That's right. That's right.
The South is
Koreans.
You've seen the maps of like what porn is watched where, and like all the incest porn is in Utah where the families are the biggest, and all the interracial porn is like in the South. Wherever it'll piss people off, that's where the kink is.
Yeah. So by telling people to be reasonable is to kink shame them? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
no, hate everybody's sexuality. It makes them come harder. Everything.
No, the dark
no.
side.
Hold
The
on,
dark
shut
side.
up. Nope.
That doesn't make the hetero people.
Nope, because that
like
may-
hetero vanilla people come harder. They come harder knowing that they're the
Superior.
God's
master
chosen
race.
sex. They're the premium version. They're pure
Premium
white.
unleaded white.
There's two sides to it.
But if we shame them, if
not
we go,
everyone's
hold on,
getting
hold
off
on,
on shame.
hold on.
Not everyone is. Some people.
I disagree.
Maybe about half of us.
I think way more than half. I think I'm almost all.
No,
if not all.
the pagans had it right. Like the only missionaries allowed. Right?
Yes.
You can only have sex with your wife missionary. So if you even like barely break the rule,
Because that's how
you're
you make sex
really,
hot.
Yeah, you're breaking a rule. You get to break a rule.
Well,
and
that's the thing. That's the thing. Really, like what people rally against. See, and like I'm anti-Puritan, but
I'm
I should be less so
anti-sexuality.
because I'm pro-Puritanism because Puritanism makes everything fun. Where they're going. What do you want? Do you want sex to be boring or do you want me to be full of hate? and now sex is fun again. What do you want? What do you want to do? We've gotten to the point where being non-binary is like we're just making shit up. We're just like whatever. Like
I think the whole point of Christianity was to make monogamy hot.
Yeah.
The whole
That's
point
right.
of it is
That's
to
why
make
it's so
it hot.
good.
You need to make the rules like very stern
in order to make shit hot.
Yeah. Without
because
chopping your dick off.
Christianity was competing with
This
this
is the
pagan
second best thing to chopping your dick off, which would really be the ultimate kink.
Well, that's where we're at now.
The ultimate kink
Yeah.
is cutting our own genitals off. But in order to not do that, we've created.
We could make some rules.
That's right. Okay. We've landed on a real thing here that's needs to get.
But there will be a point.
Kind of
because-
knock it out there.
We will
What's
get
tab-
fully Brave New World where procreation itself is taboo. And then that will be
That's
the
what
thing.
makes it hot.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it will be.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna put a baby in these so fucking deep, and this is gonna be fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, because it'll be illegal.
Yeah, that's how
We're going to
hot
make
can we make
procreation illegal because you need to do it by the government's rules. You need to come in this test tube. They run a algorithm on it. They find
make
it? Dude, how hot is
eggs,
how hot is
whatever.
coming in a girl now?
Yeah, we're going to make it hotter.
Let's make it hotter.
We will, and it will become rarer because we've got enough
That's
people.
right.
But it'll be only the people
This is
who
what
are
I'm saying.
truly
This is what I'm saying.
on the edge.
This
or
is what
whatever.
I'm saying, though, is that when people go, we need to stop racism, really what they're saying is, I want to make it less fun to come inside of a black girl. And what's more racist than that? You don't want me to come inside this black girl? Why? What? Wait, what do you, like, you might as well be lighting a cross on fire outside of her pussy. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll get there. Because you're
So what you're
on the
saying
same
is
side.
in the same way that if you tolerate homosexuality, it makes it less hot. If you tolerate interracial
Nobody
sex, it makes it less hot.
makes coming inside of a black girl hotter than a grand wizard doing whatever he does, right? Because you're like, ooh, we're being bad, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like all shame, like plenty of girls are into like Nazi fetishism because it's
That's
like
right.
the worst thing you could fuck.
That's fucking right, dude. So
There are some.
Their dads
really
aren't mad
hot-
about black guys anymore, so
if you hate Nazis, you're racist now.
There's some really hot fucking like barn house slave master slave interracial. Fucking that shit's hot.
Bruh.
And
Absolutely. I'm here for
but
it
I
all
mean,
day.
Really, it's not even as kinky as like BDSM shit that we're doing now, but it just has this certain.
yeah, like skirts past the knees in the slave porn. I don't know which ones you're watching.
No, I don't know what we're talking about.
Handkerchief around the head.
But yeah, I don't know. It has some history. It is taboo. It's just a taboo, I guess. Taboo makes it hot, but it's that
And
thing
that's
that
what I'm
we've
saying.
all been taught
What they're
bad.
trying to do by getting rid of the taboo, what they're saying is don't fuck black girls, or they want to make. Do you know what I mean? Or like by making it less taboo, you're making it kind of less rad.
Well, yeah. So just like walk taboo back, because like if the rule
And
is
walk taboo back. See, this is what I've been. Yeah, and I think you're on board with me. Is let's make dancing illegal.
yes, if you can't
Fuck yeah! All right.
you cannot
You're on
have
board with this.
you cannot have sex with your wife on Sundays.
Fucking A.
Yeah, when you're a missionary having sex with your wife on Saturday night and it's 11:58, you're like,
it's like yeah, dude, yeah, that's the hardest load you're ever gonna blow into that chick, dude. Listen, let's and make dancing illegal because it should. We did that to be fun, to have fun, and now we're like going away from that for some reason, which I don't understand.
No, that is the reason. We're making all
because
the
people
old
are
values
such
taboo.
pussies.
No, we're making all the old values taboo. Monogamy,
So now
whatever
monogamy
nuclear
has to be
family.
hot again.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right.
monogamy, heterosexuality, that's taboo now. So we're gonna play that game. That's taboo. It's now it's gonna be fun again. Because we had too much gay sex. It's not fun anymore.
It's not fun anymore. We did too much butt stuff. But then what they're going into is what is inevitable out of this system. This system of thought is they're going to go. The only thing that's not taboo is fucking people from your own race, like, which is
It'll come back around.
it'll come back. It's
just
like a
get bored.
boomerang,
It's just
dude.
boredom.
races will become like even more dimorphic.
Yeah, which is kind of cool, actually. That's kind of right, dude. Like, evolutionarily speaking, dude, you don't want too much genetic homogeny. So it makes sense to have kind of racism and these bullshit myths push us apart so that we have more genetic diversity.
Yeah, but like
that does make
global
sense.
travel is like very new. Like hybrid vigor is also a thing.
Yeah, but okay. So this is what I'm saying is that evolutionarily speaking, what would be good, evolutionarily speaking, is if you're going to have increased global travel, you have increased racism, because you have a practical connectivity of races or of genetic whatever genetic pools. If you want to survive, and you want to not have a lot of, if you want to have a lot of, if you want to survive, dude, you cannot have too much homogeneity. So it would make sense that as we become a global society, we would have an increase of kind of, we would make myths that justify racial separation.
And then put them in a book and
Yeah. That's right. Well, listen, we've done it. We did something. I don't think it's good.
We're going the opposite direction where we'll go in Biden's America. You actually get a tax credit if you have a LGBTQ relationship or an interracial, whatever, and then you get like extra communist points for doing that woke shit.
Yeah, if you fuck boy pussy, that's
So
tax
what they
credit.
will do
it's
with
the last
that is they'll
taboo
make
left.
it like if you're just a fucking like white as white, and you fuck another fucking white, like that is like nobody can see this.
That's the
Nobody
sweetest
can
berry
see
on
this.
the vine.
Yeah,
Because you're like, I'm gonna
don't
fuck
let
another
anyone
white
see this.
person, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck a white person. I'm gonna cum on him.
Yeah, but then, like,
that's the strawberry in the Taoist story of the guy. He's like hanging on a vine and he's about to die, but he reaches over for the strawberry. That's gonna be fucking white pussy for a white man. For black men, it's gonna be even sweeter to fuck the black pussy because they're constantly being told to whatever. I'm getting probably out of hand racist now. I don't realize it.
Yeah, you'll just become the new retards. It's like the prenatal test for Caucasianism has told you that you should abort this baby.
Yeah. No melanin, sweetheart. You want to get rid of this one?
I don't know how to.
Yeah, what's the racial equivalent of the one-child policy in China?
We went no child left behind. They went one child left behind. They were like, nah, not all of them.
Yeah, they'll be like, if your kids, your ethnicity, they'll be like, do you want to try again?
But, I mean, here's my thing.
Can. You certainly can. We got people right here.
As an Irish person, dude, I don't know how many steps we are different from people with Down syndrome. I feel like it's a pretty
Irish?
short leap before they start going, you're going to let this one live? Like
It's Irish.
It's Irish. They're like, dude, his liver is like 3 times the size of a normal liver. This one's not going to turn out good. I understand that. And by that model, I don't think it's unjustified to go, is this baby going to be Irish? Let's kill it. And there's a historical precedent toward it. Right?
Yeah.
You started out this podcast saying we should not kill Down syndrome fetuses.
But if we're going to kill Down syndrome people, let's kill the Irish too.
Yeah, that's how you should have done it because you said,
well, that's how I did it.
Imagine the fetus is Indian. Now that's racist. Keep all the tards. Now what you're saying is if he's Irish, in the dumpster.
Well, no. Yes. No, because listen,
I'm not sure if you understand what fetal alcohol syndrome is.
Would I be able to?
It's not being Irish.
At this point. No, but what I'm saying is I am really I'm trying to ruin their reality very consciously.
Irish retards?
No,
Indians?
I am Irish.
Yeah, who's they?
I'm Irish and I like the retards. I'm trying to everybody's reality. I hate they're all annoying and I'm trying to ruin their reality and I'm trying to kink shame them. I'm trying to fuck up their, they want to get fucked by a Nazi. I'm trying to ruin that fantasy for them it's not out of the realm of possibility that they go, we don't need this race of people anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's come up a lot in history. People have pulled that trigger.
Of the, we don't need what?
We don't need this race of people. Let's get rid
That's
of
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm being a constant inconvenience to them. They're like, listen, we want to kill people with Down syndrome and we want to fucking punch Nazis and you're getting in the way of this. Is that all right?
You're like, no. Kill the Irish.
We already want to be dead as a race of people. There's never been a more suicidal group of people in the world. Just bomb Ireland, you fucks. We're done. We're done with this.
They still are. I don't.
Just teach the men to punch
I don't know
in the
what's going on
stomach
there,
instead
but I
of the
think it's bad.
face.
Whatever.
We're getting to Lord of the Rings territory.
I'm just saying. We've been carpet bombing the Shire for decades now. We've been there. We should rewrite the Lord of the Rings where Sauron is America and the hobbits are Taliban.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say the orcs were the Muslims, but
that's because you're racist and you.
I guess so. Mordor.
You're like,
Sounds
I was
already
thinking
like
about the same thing, except the Muslims are monsters. They're disgusting cave-dwelling monsters.
Okay. No, you're right. My racism's way worse.
I know. All right. Well, we're good.
Who are the elves, though?
The gays. Is that correct? I don't know. Could be.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. The ring wraiths?
But they're like the best archers. They can't be the French.
You know who the ring wraiths are. We don't have to say that out loud, and we're not gonna.
The elves are like gay, but they're also really good marksmen.
Listen.
So it can't be the French.
Here's the problem.
Every time I've tried, I've had to thumb it in. I bet they're pretty good.
You got these ring wraiths hanging outside, selling loose cigarettes outside of convenience stores. We can't have that, dude. We can't have that, dude. You gotta have Aragorn.
As soon as you put any gold on, they see you.
So much shit in there.
Another black teen killed by a Nazgul.
That's right. All right, we found it.